All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever your day is looking like today. My name is Emily, and I will be guiding you through your practice. Today, I have Clara and Jen as our models for this class. So, if you have any blocks at home, then grab them. If not, maybe like a pillow or cushion or anything that maybe gives you just like a little elevation or some support that we'll use later on. But so once you gather your props, go ahead and take your block or whatever you're using today and get into a comfortable seated position on top of your block. And we'll try to get a little more than a 90-degree angle in our hips. So if you can bring your shins as parallel to your mat, let's start there. And you can place your palms facing down on top of your thighs and gently start to close your eyes as we come into our space now. Just start to become connected with your breath. Start to notice the rise and the fall of your chest. Sitting up nice and tall, making sure your shoulders are stacked over your hips, having your ears in line with your shoulders. Maybe finding some extra space through your collarbones as you open up your chest, still hugging your front ribs into your back, finding that nice, straight, long spine. Just sticking with your breath for a few more moments. I have a quote that I'd like to share with you all. It's something I find myself coming back to very frequently. The quote goes, "Maybe the journey isn't about becoming anything. Maybe it's about unbecoming everything that isn't you, so you could become who you were truly supposed to be in the first place." Remembering to continuously shed our layers, coming back to our true center. That resonates with you, I encourage you to use that as part of your intentions for today's practice. If not, take this time to find your own intentions. What is bringing you to your mat today? Let's seal our intentions in with a nice cleansing breath, starting with an exhale through your mouth, releasing any of your old stale air that's been in your lungs. And then sealing your lips, taking a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open mouth exhale, releasing your intentions into your space. One more time, deep inhale through your nose. Open mouth exhale, release as you settle in. Starting to bring some movement back into your body. Start by wiggling your fingers. Maybe keeping your eyes gently closed, but moving your eyebrows up and down, scrunching your face. Maybe pulling the outer corners of your lips towards your ears, finding a smile. And then slowly start to blink your eyes open, gazing just a few feet in front of your mat, taking your arms out towards the side, and with a nice big inhale, bringing your arms out, around, and above your head. And as you exhale, lowering your right fingertips towards the ground as you walk them out, finding a side bend towards the right side of the room, rolling your left shoulder open, sinking your left hip closer to the ground or whatever prop you're using. And then inhale, back up to center, switching it out. Exhale as you lower your left fingertips towards the ground, walking them out, stretching towards the left side of the room, opening up the right side of your chest now. There for the inhale and the exhale. Inhale, both hands back up to center, finding length. And as you exhale, twisting open towards the right side of the room, right palm comes behind your hips, left reaching reaching for the outer edge of your right thigh, gazing towards the right side. Sitting up nice and tall, feeling that twist from your core, from your center. Take a nice big inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, coming back to center, arms come up above your head. Take an inhale, and then exhale, twisting open towards the left side of the room. Left palm plants behind your hips, right palm reaching towards the outer edge of your left thigh now. Sitting up nice and tall, finding space through your collarbones. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, coming back to center, bringing your arms up above your head. Take a nice deep inhale, and then exhale, bringing your hands down, moving forward just enough to pull away the props from underneath you. Coming to a seated position, start to plant your feet and bend your knees, and then slowly C-curve spine as you release all the way down onto your mat. Keeping your feet planted, start to find a cat-cow motion. So with an inhale, lifting your chest up away from the ground, but keeping your hips down. So be finding the slight arch in your back, keeping your shoulders and your hips and your feet all connected to the mat. And then with an exhale, curving your spine, pulling your belly button in towards your back, maybe lifting your hips and tucking them just slightly. And then inhaling, lifting your chest, heart reaching up towards the ceiling. Exhale, pulling it in, maybe slightly tucking your tailbone under just enough to engage your core and feel that stretch in your lower back. And just flowing through this supine cat-cow, following your breath for a few moments. Focus on finding this mobility in your spine, nice and easy to start off your practice. And then finding your stillness here. Start to reach as you hug your right knee in towards your chest. And then using your right pointer and middle finger to hook your right big toe, stacking your heel over your knee, coming into a half happy baby. You could use your left palm to keep your left hip grounded to your mat. Staying here as you hug your right knee in closer towards the outer edge of your ribs. You could stay here if it's feeling good this practice. Start to extend your left leg flat onto your mat, getting a little bit of a deeper stretch here. Taking nice, full, mindful inhales and exhales. If you extended your left leg, start to bring it bend back into planting the sole of your foot. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, lower your right foot to meet your left. Maybe wiggling out some of that movement, feeling the difference between your hips at this moment. And then inhale as you hug your left knee in towards your chest, switching your grip to use your left pointer finger and middle finger to start hooking your left big toe as you stack your heel over your knees, opening up your left hip. Knee is coming out and around your side. Staying here, and if you took it on the first side, start to extend your right leg forward, keeping your right hip anchored down onto your mat. Focus on just opening up the left hip for now. Flexing through your right foot, your right leg to help keep it grounded. Staying with your breath, just 2 more moments. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, start to plant the sole of your right foot back onto your mat, followed by your left. Hugging both knees into your chest, wrapping your forearms around your shins, maybe rocking side to side, massaging out your lower back. And then slowly start rocking up and down your spine, finding the momentum coming into a seated position. And once you get there, crossing your shins, and then leaning forward, coming into a tabletop position, stacking your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. Bringing your big toes to touch, finding some more space between your knees, a little wider than hips distance. And then sinking your hips back towards your heels, coming into child's pose. Arms are extended straight out in front of you. Start to hop up onto your fingertips and press the mat away from you, allowing your hips to sink closer towards your heels. And then staying lifted on your fingertips, take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, start to walk your hands towards the top right corner of your mat, keeping your left hip anchored down towards your heels, finding a nice side stretch in the left side of our body. Maybe stacking your left palm on top of your right for an extra stretch here. Breathing into your ribs. And as you inhale, walking your hands back to center. Exhale, switching it out, crawling your hands to the top left corner of your mat now. Feeling that side stretch on the right side of your body. Right hip is glued, sinking down towards your heels. Feeling the intercostal muscles of your ribs expanding and stretching, opening up so you could get some deeper inhales and exhales. Inhaling your hands, walk back to the center of your mat. Start to shift your weight forward, passing through tabletop. And slowly start to lower your weight all the way down onto your mat. Walking your hands to the lower parts of your rib cage, planting your palms, elbows pointing directly towards the back wall. Tops of your feet are flat, maybe hip width distance apart. Engaging your back muscles, hugging your front hip bones down onto your mat. Start to engage your glutes. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to press the ground away, lifting the back of your heart, neck, and head, coming into cobra pose. Keeping the glutes engaged to support and protect your lower spine. Take a deep inhale, maybe pressing up an inch or two higher. Exhale, release all the way down onto your mat. Start to walk your hands out to the left and to the right, about 90-degree angles in your elbows, coming high up onto your fingertips. Once again, take an inhale, and then as you exhale, start to peel your chest away from the mat, coming into Intimidation Cobra, straightening your arms as much as you can. I know this is still the beginning of the class and our first few back bends. Nice strong body, glutes engaged. Inhale one more time. Exhale, completely release down onto your mats. Allowing your hands to come back to the lower part of your rib cage, tucking your toes, engaging your quads to lift your kneecaps, core engaged, and on an inhale, press up to plank pose. And then finding a gentle bend in your knees, start to walk your hands towards the back of your mat to meet your feet. Keeping that gentle bend in your knees, maybe heel toeing your feet apart about hip distance, and then finding ragdoll. So reaching for your opposite elbows, allowing your head to completely relax and your neck feel long as you gaze down towards the ground. Rocking side to side. Maybe shaking your head yes and no. Maybe start to slowly take the bend out of your knees, coming into a regular forward fold, releasing your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, palms come to just below your knees on your shin, or if you have any props reaching out in front of you. And then exhale, coming back into a forward fold. Start to heel toe your feet even further apart, so your toes are angled out, heels are in, but your outer edge of your foot is close to the edges of your mat. And then start to sink your hips down, coming into Malasana or Yogi squats. Hips are down, knees and toes are pointing in the same direction, out to the side, about 45-degree angle. Hands come to prayer heart center, using your elbows to press your knees open here. Engaging your pelvic floor to help lift your hips a little more and finding space. Maybe closing your eyes here. Feeling this engagement as you lift your belly button up. Stay here for just one more moment. And then slowly start to plant your hands down in front of you as you start to walk them forward, coming into plank pose. And then from here, pressing your hips back and down, but not coming to down dog, hovering your shins, coming into bear pose. Arms are extended out in front of you. Quads are engaged as you hover your shins, finding a nice load up, and then starting to take a large step forward, meeting at the top of your mat. Meeting in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise as you bring your arms out around and above your head. Exhale, hands at prayer heart center, gently close your eyes here. Coming back to your intentions, what brought you to your mat today? Releasing your hands down to your side, palms facing forward, finding your mountain pose. Inhale, arms come out around and above your head, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive as you forward fold, leading with your heart. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Exhale, forward fold, planting your palms down, stepping or jumping back, meeting in plank pose. As you inhale, start to shift your weight forward, bringing your shoulders past your wrists. Exhale, lowering all the way down onto your mats. Once again, finding your palms in line with your bottom ribs. Tops of your feet are flat, pelvis rooted down onto your mat. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, start to peel your chest away, coming into maybe a deeper cobra pose here than we did earlier. Take an inhale at the top, exhale, lower all the way back down onto your mat. Start to tuck your toes, engage your knees, engage your core. On an inhale, press the mat away. Exhale, downward facing dog. Maybe pedaling out your down dog here, being the first one of our class. Bending into your right knee, straightening your left, bending your left, straightening your right, taking any organic movement that you need today. And then finding your stillness in your down dog, biceps rolling forward, inner thighs rolling towards the back wall. Find a nice long spine. And then inhaling your right leg up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bringing it between your front hands, planting your foot. Bringing your left knee down onto your mat. Top of your left foot is flat. And then staying here and rotating your left shin to be parallel to the top and bottom edge of your mat. So as if you're kind of setting up for warrior two, but with your shin and your right foot pointing directly straight. And then as you inhale, start to cartwheel your arms open to the left side of the room. So your right hand is reaching forward, finding that warrior two position, but on our shin. So your right knee is going to be pressing out towards the right side of the room. When you look down, make sure you can see at least the first two toes on your foot. Engaging your glutes to pull your knee open, gazing over the front middle finger of your right hand. Opening your chest here. Take a nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, start to bring your right elbow to the top of your right thigh, and then bringing your left arm out around and above your head, finding a modified side angle. Start to notice the sensation, the stretch in the left side of your body. Continuously pressing your right knee open here, finding some length in both sides of your ribs. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, coming back to warrior two, start to cartwheel your hands back down to frame your front foot, swiveling your left shin back to center, curling your toes under, meeting in a runner's lunge. Inhale as you prop up onto your fingertips, and then exhale, planting your left palm down as you twist, opening up to the right side of the room. Still finding that engagement of the outer edge of your right glutes, keeping your right knee pressing towards the right side of the room. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bringing your right hand on the inside of your right foot, setting up for lizard. Start to heel toe your right foot towards the outer edge of your mat. And then allowing your left knee to meet your mat. Using your right hand to maybe press the inside of your right thigh open as you come onto the outer edge of your right foot, flexing your toes. And if it's in your practice, finding the quad stretch as you start to bend your left knee in towards your glutes, using your right arm to reach back and grab your foot. Still encouraging your hips forward and down towards your mat. If you took the stretch, start to slowly release your back foot. Coming back to an active lizard as you curl your back toes, lifting your left knee, hands still both on the inside of your right foot, and start to take some circles with your hips. Maybe 2 going clockwise, and then 2 going counterclockwise. Finding stillness in your active lizard. Look up towards the top of your mat, getting ready to launch forward. Start to bring your left foot to the outer edge of your left palm, meeting back into our yogi squats here. Hands at prayer heart center. Once again, using your elbows to press your hips open. Lifting your pelvic floor. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, planting your palms down in front of you, lifting your hips, meeting in a forward fold. Heel toeing your feet back together. Bringing your big toes to touch, maybe finding an inch or 2 space between your heels. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to your shins, straight spine. Exhale, forward fold. Start to bend your knees, sinking your hips down towards your mat. And then inhaling up into chair pose. So hips are pressing down and back. Knees are behind your toes, as if you're sitting in a chair, sitting further back, maybe an inch or 2 lower. Arms reaching up towards the top corner of the room where the wall and ceiling meets. Gazing down towards your toes, or maybe just a few feet in front of your mat. Sink an inch or lower because I know you can. Start to come onto your right toes as you press your weight into your left heel. And then with an inhale, coming to a single-legged mountain pose. Start to bring your right knee out towards the right side of the room, reaching down to grab your ankle, bringing your foot in to either your upper thigh or below your knee, coming into tree pose. Hands could either stay at prayer heart center or maybe grow your tree. Focusing on pressing your right foot into your left thigh and equally pressing your left thigh back into your right foot to find your stability, finding your strength. Still encouraging that right knee open, finding a lot of hip openers today. Find your drishti or your point of focus. The wandering mind, your balance might be a little more off center. So finding that single point to focus on calms your mind, calms your body, helps you find that balance. Stay for one more full inhale and exhale. And with your next inhale, stepping your right foot back of your mat, coming into star pose, opening towards the right side of the room. And then all 10 toes pointing forward, maybe having your heels a little turned outwards. And then exhaling, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Taking any variations this first wide-legged forward fold, whatever feels good to get some movement and stretch into the back of your legs. Focus on pressing the weights towards the top, or not the top, the front of your feet, but still keeping your heels on the ground, trying to stack your hips over your heels, over your ankles. Finding one straight line here. Wherever you are in your modifications. Inhale as you prop up onto your fingertips, finding a flat back. And then exhale, coming into a runner's lunge at the top of your mat. Left foot is forward here, and start to lower your right knee onto your mat. Once again, setting up for those kneeling warrior poses. So bringing your right shin parallel to the top edge or the back edge of your mat. And as you inhale, start to windmill your arms open, finding your warrior two. Still pressing a majority of the weight into your front heel here as you encourage your left knee towards the left side of the room, gazing over your front middle finger here, finding your focus, feeling nice and open in your shoulders, in your hips. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, connecting your left elbow to above your left knee as you bring your right arm down, around, and above, finding your side angle pose. Encouraging your right shoulder open here, pressing your left hip still towards the left side of the room. Noticing the stretch on the right side of your body now. Staying here, continuously opening up your body. And as you exhale, coming back into the warrior two just to pass, windmilling your arms back down to frame your front foot, unswiveling your back shin, tucking your toes, meeting in runner's lunge. Inhale once again to find some extra length in your spine. And as you exhale, planting your right palm onto the ground as you open up towards the left side of the room, coming into revolved runners. Either gazing towards the left wall or up towards your left fingers. Take an extra inhale. And then as you exhale, bringing your left palm on the inside of your left foot, start to heel toe your foot away towards the outer edge of your mat, planting your right knee onto the ground, untucking your back toes, finding your lizard pose, using your left palm to start to press your left knee open away from your body, maybe coming on the outer edge of your left foot as you flex your toes. Staying here, or if you did it on the first side, start to bend into your right knee, taking the extra stretch, still encouraging your hips down and forward, feeling this in your front hip flexors. If you took the extra stretch, slowly start to release your foot, going back to an active lizard, both hands on the inside of your left, curl your toes, lift your knees, start to find some circles with your hips once again, going in a clockwise rotation for maybe two, and then switching it, going counterclockwise, finding two circles, and then finding stillness, loading up on your back leg, coming into a yogi squat, stepping on the outside of your right palm. Once again, hands at pure heart center here, encouraging your hips open. If you'd like a little bit more of an opening or a heart opener, start to plant your left fingertips in front of your left foot, extending your right hand up towards the ceiling. You can stay here or rotating your palm, your right palm, so the back side of your hand is reaching for the top of your left glute. Try to get a little more of an opening in your chest. Inhale, right arm comes back up to the center. Exhale, planting both palms down, switching it out. Right hand comes in front of your right toes out towards the side. Inhaling your left hand up towards the ceiling. And you start to rotate your hand so that the back side of your palm is reaching for the outer edge of your right glute. You bend your elbow, opening your chest open here. Inhale, left arm comes back up. Exhale, back to center. And handing your hands back down in front of you. Start to come into a forward fold as you heel toe your feet back to center. Once again, finding your big toes to touch and some extra space between your heels, just an inch or two. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bending your knees, sinking your hips, inhaling your arms back up, coming into chair pose. Pressing your hips down and back a little more. All 10 toes are visible. Majority of the weight is in your heels, but the front of your foot is still engaged here. Start to shift the weight into your right foot, coming onto your left toes, getting ready to spring up onto your right leg as you straighten it, finding a 90-degree angle shelf with your left leg. Holding it here for one moment. Start to bring your left knee out towards the left side of the room, using your left hand to guide your ankle to either above your knee or below your knee, finding your second tree pose. Just remembering to avoid the knee joints. Hands can either stay at prayer heart center, or you could grow your tree as they reach up towards the ceiling. Once again, sole of your left foot is pressing into your right thigh. Right thigh is equally pressing back into your left foot, pulling everything in towards the center of your body, finding your balance, finding your drishti. And then with your next inhale, taking a large step back with your left foot, coming into star, opening up towards the left side of the room. Once again, all 10 toes are pointing forward, maybe finding your heels a little wider. And exhale, coming into wide forward fold, side B. Sending the breath to the back of your legs now. Inhaling, walking your fingertips directly under your shoulders, bringing your left palm directly underneath your nose. Right hand comes to your right hip. Take an inhale to lengthen your spine, and as you exhale, twisting open towards the right side of the room or the front side of your mat. Allowing your left hip to move as it wants to. Exhale, right hand releases back down, switching out with your left. Left hand comes to your left hip as you inhale to straighten your spine. Exhale, twisting open towards the left or the back side now. Once again, allowing your hips to do what they want in this pose. Taking a deep inhale, exhale, releasing both hands back down into a forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, runner's lunge towards the top of your mat. Right foot steps back to meet your left, coming in downward facing dog, lifting your hips up and back, pressing your pointer and thumb fingers down onto your mat, rolling your biceps forward, inner thighs roll towards the back wall. Taking a few breaths here for a second. Inhale, right leg comes up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. And then as you exhale, bending your knees, stacking your hips over one another. Puffing up your left shoulder, just try to keep your shoulders squared at the top of your mat as much as you can. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, coming back to three-legged dog. Crunching your right knee towards your nose, lifting your hips, and then bringing your foot to in between your hands. This time setting up for our real warrior two. Back heel spins flat onto your mat. Right toes are pointing towards the top of your mat. Inhale as you windmill your arms open towards the left side of the room, coming into your warrior two. Just like we did before, gazing down at your toes, making sure that you can see at least the first two toes on your right foot, engaging your right knee to open towards the right side of the room. Line of energy shooting down your back leg, arms parallel to the ground, gazing over your front middle finger here. Take an inhale, exhale, as you feel your shoulders relax. And then with your next inhale, flipping your front palm, finding a reverse triangle as you straighten your front knee. Left hand comes either to the back of your thigh or your lower back. Finding the stretch on the front side of your body now. And then as you exhale, coming back into warrior two. Setting up for side angle, just like before, right elbow comes to the top of your right knee, lunging a little deeper into your front leg, and then inhaling, your left hand comes down, around, and above, reaching towards the top corner of the room, palm flexing down, straight line of energy, all the way from the top of your left fingers, down your left side body, coming out of your foot, opening up your shoulders here, gazing up towards your top hand if you can. And then inhale back to warrior two. And then as you have any of your props, if you have your block, cushion, or anything at home coming from your warrior two, start to lean forward, reaching for your prop, bringing it maybe 10 inches in front of your right foot, in line with your pinky toe, bringing your left hand to your left hip, setting up for half moon. So as you move your block or prop forward, launching onto your right leg, lifting your left leg off of the ground, engaging your left glute to lift up your leg maybe an inch or two higher, stacking your shoulder over your wrist for the support. Maybe start to open up your moon as you lift your left hand up towards the ceiling. Still engaging that outer glute of your left leg. Right leg is straight. See if you could stack your shoulders and your hips. And then slowly reversing out of this, coming back into warrior two. Nice and slow release. Cartwheeling your hands down to frame your front foot, coming into runner's lunge. Step your left foot forward to meet your right, coming into a forward fold. Collecting your breath here for just a moment. And then inhaling as you root to rise, bring your arms out, around, and above your head. Exhale, hands come to pure heart center. Inhale as you start to shift your weight onto your left leg, coming into a single-legged mountain pose. Right leg comes to a shelf. And then as you exhale, crossing your right heel over your left knee, sinking down into flying pigeon. So finding your figure four in your legs, hands at prayer heart center here. Pressing in towards the center, encouraging your knee down towards the ground, flexing through your right toes. And then inhale, coming back to single-legged Tadasana. Once again, bringing your left hand to your left hip, using your right hand to pull your knee in towards your shoulder, and then using your pointer and middle finger to hook your right big toe, and slowly start to extend your leg forward. And then if you can, stay there, or bringing it out towards the side, coming into standing hand to big toe. You can extend your left hand towards the left side of the room to find your counterbalance here. It's okay if your right knee is bent. It does not have to be straight here. And then slowly coming out of that meeting in your single-legged Tadasana. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, releasing your right foot to meet your left, hands come to prayer heart center. Inhale, arms come out, around, and above your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting your palms down onto your mat, step or jumping back, either taking a chaturanga here or lowering all the way down, coming into your cobra, finding your back bend as you inhale, and then as you exhale, meeting in downward facing dog, just press your hips up and back. Settling into your down dog for a moment. And then inhaling your left leg up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. As you exhale, start to bend your left knee, stacking your hips, puffing up your right shoulder. Inhale your leg back to center. And then exhale, crunching your knee to your nose. And then stepping your left foot forward, setting up for warrior two side B, rotating your back heel down, bending into your front knee, and then as you inhale, windmilling your arms open, back into warrior two. Stacking your knee over your heel, pressing your thigh towards the left side of the room now. Energy shooting down your back leg, gazing over your front middle finger. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, flipping your front palm, finding your reverse triangle, straightening your front leg, finding a gentle side bend / back bend. And then exhale, coming back into your warrior two. This time setting up for your side angle, bringing your left elbow to above your left knee as you bring your right hand down, around, and above, reaching towards the top corner of the room. Rotating your chest open as you roll your right shoulder back, gazing up towards the ceiling if you can. Top palm is facing towards the ground. Finding one straight line of energy from your fingertips through the outer edge of your right foot. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Finding your props that you used on the first side, bringing it in line with the outer edge of your left foot. Maybe grabbing it as you bring your right hand to your right hip, now getting ready to lunge as you come into half moon. So bringing your props maybe 10 to 12 inches in front as you step up onto your left foot, straightening your leg, engaging your right glute this time, lifting your right foot up an inch or two higher. And then once you find your balance, maybe opening up, reaching your right palm towards the ceiling, either stay gazing down at your mat, or maybe gazing towards the right side of the room. Staying fully engaged here, limbs reaching in almost every direction. And then slowly reversing out of this, coming back into warrior two. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, cartwheeling your hands, coming into runners. And then stepping your right foot forward to meet your left, coming into a forward fold. And then inhale, halfway lift, shins, or hands come to your shins. Exhale, forward fold, bringing your big toes to touch, finding a slight distance in your heels. And then root to rise. Arms come out around above your head. Bringing your left leg up to shelf this time. Just bouncing on your right foot. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, crossing your left heel over your right knee as you sink your hips down and back, finding that figure four once again in your legs, flying pigeon. Hands are pressing equally into each other and towards your center. Maybe your thumbs are connecting with your heart. Sink an inch lower. Majority of your weight is distributing down through your heel, flexing through your left toes. Inhaling back up to single-legged mountain. Right hand comes to your right hip, reaching down with your pointer and middle finger to grab your big toe. And then start to extend your left leg forward straight in front of you. Staying here, or maybe start to bring it out towards the left side of the room, followed by your right, reaching out towards the right, finding your counterbalance. Nice, strong right leg, pressing all four corners of your right foot down into your mat. And slowly reversing out of this, bringing your left shin or thigh back to shelf. And then as you exhale, lowering your left foot to meet your right, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step or jump back, coming into plank or into your chaturanga. Flowing here. Meeting in downward facing dog. Inhaling your right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, right knee to right elbow crunch. Inhale, right leg back up to the center. Exhale, right knee left elbow twist. Inhale, right leg back up to center. Exhale, knee to nose crunch in the center. Lift your hips up an inch higher if you can. Core engaged. Keeping your shoulders stacked over your wrists here, shoot your right leg back, coming into a one-legged plank pose. And then exhale, crunching your nose back, or your knee back towards your nose. Inhale, staying in the single-legged plank. Exhale, crunch one more time. Inhale, open up. Exhale, releasing your right foot down to meet your left, lowering your right elbow, followed by your left, coming into low plank. Core engaged, hips in line with your shoulders, pressing your forearms and your palms down into your mat. Heels are stacked over your toes, pulling your belly button in towards your spine, pulling your front hip points in towards one another. Staying here for another 10 seconds. Gazing between your palms here, keeping the back of the neck a little longer. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pressing into your right palm, followed by your left. Inhale, exhale, coming into downward facing dog. Hips go up and back. Give you a break just for 1 second. And then inhaling your left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, left knee, left elbow crunch. Inhale, left leg back to center. Exhale, left knee, right elbow twist. Inhale, left leg back up to center. Exhale, knee to nose, center of your chest. Lift your hips an inch higher because you can. And then once again, staying in the plank, start to shoot your left leg straight back, coming into a single-legged plank as you inhale, and then exhale, finding the crunch knee to nose. Inhale, shooting your left leg straight back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale back one more time. Exhale, crunch. Hold it here for 2 breaths. And then shooting your left leg back, lowering your toes to meet your right. This time lowering onto your left forearm, followed by your right. Engaging your core, hips in line with your shoulders, pressing your forearms into your mat, pulling your shoulder blades away, and then slowly start to dip your hip to the right edge of your mat. Back to center, twisting to the left, finding some hip dips here just for a few breaths. We'll just do this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sink your hips down onto your mat, coming into Sphinx pose, stretching out the core. Tops of your feet are flat, pressing down into your mat, pressing your pelvis into your mat, pulling like as if there's an imaginary string, pulling your belly button towards your heart to lift the lower belly, and then as if you're pulling the mat closer as you're dragging, dragging your elbows in towards your body. Lifting your chest a little more here, finding that space in your collarbones. Back of your neck is long, so gazing just at the top edge of your mat. Take an inhale, exhale, lowering all the way down. Taking a brief belly down Shavasana. Either connecting your forehead to your mat or left or right cheek, whatever feels natural for you here. And then rolling over to either side, so your head is still at the top of your mat, feet towards the back, but laying on your spine. We're not done with core just yet because we got time today. So bending your knees, bringing your shins to shelf, fingertips come behind your ears, elbows reaching out towards the east and the west. Setting up for yogi bicycles here. We have about 20 seconds, so move at your pace with your breath. Inhale as you come to center, and then exhale as you twist to crunch, bringing your opposite elbow to your opposite knee. Following your breath here. When we get around the 10-second mark, maybe picking up your speed. 10, 9, 8, 7, kick it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Great little extra core you guys got going on today. Love it. Maybe rocking your body side to side to massage out your lower spine. Finding stillness. Coming into a good morning stretch. Bringing your hands above your head, legs come flat onto your mats, reaching in front of you. Flexing through your toes, your feet, reaching your hands towards the top edge of your mat. And then as you exhale, hugging your knees in towards your chest, rocking either to the left or the right side of your body, hugging your knees in, using your bottom arm as a pillow as you lay on your side. With your next inhale, using your top hand to press your way into a seated position. Come back to facing the top edge of your mat. Crossing at your shins, shifting your weight forward, meeting in tabletop position. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees, and then walking your palms maybe an inch or two forward, tucking your back toes under, lifting your hips up and back, meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up towards the ceiling, and then as you exhale, bringing your knee to the outer edge of your right wrist, setting up for pigeon. Focus on bringing your right shin as close to parallel to the top of the mat as you can. It does not have to be perfect. Back foot is, or toes are not curled under. Well, I can't do that. It's flat. There you go. Straight leg. Finding some length in your spine as you inhale, opening up through your chest, and then exhale, walking your hands forward, coming into your resting pigeon. Sending your breath to your hips. You can always take a cushion, blankets, blocks, any props that you have at home. If you need the extra support underneath your right hip. We focused a lot on opening up our hips today. So maybe for the rest of your day, being mindful of any emotions that show up for you. We tend to hold a majority of our emotions in our hips, in our pelvis. The joints in our hips being associated with our heart chakra. So while you lay here, maybe finding gratitude for your body and all that it does for you. Your next inhale, start to walk your palms back underneath your shoulders, pressing your chest up and away. Start to curl your back toes underneath as you lift your heel, and then inhaling, bringing your right leg up to a single or three-legged dog. Once again, bending your right knee, stacking your hips, staying here, flipping your dog, coming into wilding as you gently guide your right foot down towards the ground. Reaching your right hands towards the front edge of the room. If you flipped your dog, slowly reverse your way out of it. Coming into three-legged dog as you bring your legs back to center, and then exhaling, lowering your right to meet your left. Switching it out, inhaling your left foot up towards the ceiling. Exhaling as you bring your knee towards the outer edge of your left wrist. Once again, trying to bring your shin as parallel to the top edge of your mat as you can. Finding length here through your spine, opening up through your collarbones. Take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, slowly start to walk your arms forward, resting your pigeon once again. Noticing the difference between your hips, which side feels a little more open than the other. Once you feel that difference and you acknowledge it, just come back to your breath here.
Be my pride, stay under my skin, let me take what gets my mind. Be my house.
Coming back to our heart chakra, center of our chest. Color associated with that is green, or maybe a light pink. Start to envision either one of those colors, whichever one is speaking to you. And with each inhale, imagine pulling that color light in through the top of your head. And with each exhale, sending the light to your hips.
Be my voice, head on your shoulder, damn up blue. Be my head, I'll paint your picture.
With your next inhale, slowly start to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders as you lift your chest away from the ground. Curling your back toes under, engaging your quads, and then bringing your left leg up towards the center, finding three-legged dog. Bending into your left knee this time, stacking your hips. If you took it the first time, start to flip your down dog, coming into wilding. Pressing your hips up towards the ceiling, opening your chest, finding probably your deepest back bend of the day. And then as you exhale, slowly start to unwind out of that, meeting into a regular three-legged dog. Exhaling your left foot down to meet your right. And then coming down onto your hands and knees, meeting in tabletop. Start to bring your shins either to the left or the right as you swing them around, coming into a seated position. Feet planted down onto your mat. And then slowly start to make your way down onto your spine. Bring your knees to a shelf. Arms go out east and west, preparing for a supine twist. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, lowering your knees towards the left side of the room, hugging your knees up closer towards your armpits to protect your lower spine. Either keeping your gaze straight up towards the ceiling or maybe looking over your right shoulder. Pressing your triceps into the ground, engaging your core, lifting your knees back to center. And then as you exhale, switching your rotation, dropping your knees towards the right side of the room, pulling your knees up closer towards your armpits, protecting your spine. Once again, either keeping your gaze straight up towards the ceiling or maybe shifting it over your left arm now. Focusing on keeping both shoulders closer to your mat, opening up your chest, twisting from the core. Once again, pressing your triceps into the ground and then inhaling your legs back up to center, hugging your knees in towards your chest. And then start to plant the soles of your feet onto the ground, keeping your knees bent, setting up for bridge pose. Fingertips reach down towards your heels, heels coming closer towards your glutes. And then starting to press energy out through your heels as you inhale to lift your hips up off of your mat, pressing your shoulders down onto your mat as you open your chest. Maybe start to walk your shoulder blades in towards one each other. You can stay here pressing your forearms and triceps into the ground, or maybe taking the bind as you reach for opposite hands, interlacing your fingers underneath your hips. Nice long neck, chest is open, taking some deep breaths. Knees hugging in towards one each other. Taking a nice deep inhale and then exhale, slowly releasing your hips back down onto your mat. Going into bridge pose one more time, taking any variations that are calling to you, maybe going into full wheel if that is in your practice. If not, pressing your heels down into the mat, lifting your hips one more time, seeing if you can lift a little higher, keeping the core engaged, glutes are fully engaged, protecting your lower back. Taking the bind if you did so the first time. Same for one more full inhale. And as you exhale, slowly start to release out of your bridge pose. Hugging your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a nice big hug here. Wrapping your forearms around your shins. Finding stillness as you start to engage all of your muscles. Hugging your knees closer towards your chest, lifting your chin and forehead towards your knees, squeezing it all in towards your center. Take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, slowly release it all, coming into your final resting position, Shavasana. Start to relax every ounce of your body. Let's take one more cleansing breath together. Opening your mouth to release any of the air you maybe have been holding during this practice. Sealing your lips, taking a nice big inhale through your nose. Exhale, open mouth. Release it as you feel your body sinking down onto your mat. Allow your body to become heavy here. Releasing the tension in your forehead. Allowing your tongue to fall away from the roof of your mouth. Maybe the journey isn't about becoming anything. Maybe it's about unbecoming everything that you aren't, so that you can become what you were truly meant to be in the first place. I encourage you to stay in your Shavasana as long as your time allows. One of the most important postures of your practice. Coming full circle as you allow your body to come back. Thank you all for continuously joining us on this online journey. Thank you, Cara, and thank you, Jen, for being our students today. So much love and so much light. Om Shanti, Om Peace. Namaste.